The following podcast may be explicit. Shedcast presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Welcome back as we continue our Dungeon World campaign, Perils of Parandisi. Have a seat and listen in as we hear how Demaya, Strongdawn, Shadrock, and Fritzy deal with the gateway into Hisara's realm. Enjoy the podcast.
Hi, and welcome to the Shed for Adventures from the Shed. We're continuing our Perils of Parandisi Dungeon World campaign. We're going to start by going around the table and the normal order with Mickie.
Hi, everyone. This is Mickie. I'm playing Demaya, the thief of the group. And I'll try to articulate that better tonight.
The thief of thieves.
Hey everyone, this is JJ. I'm playing Strongdawn, the Barbarian. And I don't know if you ever noticed, but whenever Joe brings his intro in, he's always on the verge of laughing because we're doing stupid shit in here constantly.
Shit, yeah, dog.
Yeah.
For people who pay particularly close attention, a lot of the podcasts start with the last half of somebody's word right before I start talking. That's an interesting side note for those who really care, which I think might be Mike.
I care. Hey, this is Kurt. I am playing the druid Shadrock, and have to comment that I think this is the first time in all of our games that all five of us are wearing super geeky t-shirts.
Yeah.
That's right. Maybe someone can get a cell phone snapshot before we break.
Yeah, we can put it on the website.
Try that.
And this is Mike playing Snicklefritz Bombus Fritzy to his friends, the wizard.
And the ladies.
To everybody.
And the ladies. The ladies can say Fritzy too.
Fritzy.
Hello to all of our new Stitcher people.
Yeah, Mike's got a good point there.
right.
We have gotten ourselves onto Stitcher Radio, so for anybody who uses the Stitcher app on iOS and Android, we're out there. Of course, you can listen to it on the web as well. We have a link to our Stitcher feed from our homepage, adventuresfromtheshed.com. We are going to kick it back to JJ, who's going to give us a quick recap to get us started today.
The Bearded Wonder.
Recap it,
Bearded
baby.
Wonder. So yeah, we entered the cavern of the evil goddess, and we managed to shenanigan our way into her evil world. And a third of the party thought they were going to be great and, actually attack her from that side, but Shadrock had some different ideas and managed to sneak us back out somehow. I'm thinking it's the incense. And then we made our way back to the monastery, and Strongdawn and Shadrock did some guerrilla tactics out in the wilderness, and Fritzy went and did some exploring around the monastery, found an interesting place with magic, and on attempting to dispel it, made everything worse.
That's what I do.
He Snicklefritzed it.
Snicklefritz is now officially a verb. And we left off with Strongdawn seeing a dwarf perish on the battlefield, and as he runs down to tell the people that the fight is starting, he sees a shadowy humanoid figure creeping out of the portal.
Creeping out of the portal.
He creeped out while crunking. That's what
So that's where we pick it up. We're in this sub basement room, and around this wall at the south side of the wall where Fritzy was down there, everyone was down there. We had the monks doing their leaning forward and back, the dwarves chanting, everybody trying to assist in closing this portal, this gateway back up, which doesn't seem to have worked. And as Strongdawn enters the room, this shadowy charcoal, almost pure black figure, humanoid figure, steps out of the wall and is walking towards the stairway to go back out of the room. It seems like it's just ignoring you guys and walking into this world. What would you like to do about it?
Can we whack it?
I would like to at least talk to it. Maybe yell, hey, stop.
Does it have a mouth?
Hey, stop.
Hey, buddy.
Your verbal attempts at communication are ignored.
Can I trip it?
Or not heard, I guess, one way or another.
Can I
They've
trip
had
it
no
and try
effect.
to knock it down?
Physical
Let's try
interaction.
Sweep the leg.
Let's try it. That sounds like a defy danger with dexterity.
Sweep the leg.
Sweep it. Mickie
Seems
didn't
like
have her
a-
dice
I didn't
out
have my
yet.
dice out. I'm not prepared.
Although she does
Defy
have the
danger with
prerequisite
a leg.
Crown Royal bag, so that's
Absolutely.
appropriate.
That's how big girls play with dice.
Big girls.
I worked on sweeping the leg at karate today for an hour.
Did you?
Wow.
Yeah.
Sweep the leg, Johnny.
I can beat this guy.
rolling 2.
That's
You're
good.
supposed to.
2 is what you do.
Any roll plus a stat is
Plus
2d6
dexterity,
plus the dexterity
Plus dexterity.
stat
So you got
modifier, the
8.
bottom part.
I got 8.
All right, so 8 is a partial success. So what's going to happen here is...
It's also a partial failure.
Yeah.
Depends, half empty, half full.
Yeah. And as a reminder to everybody, we go sometimes a few weeks without recording podcasts, so we kind of get into the groove again as we're starting. And I think Mickie might have her groove back shortly.
I'm not Stella. I'm working on getting it.
So what this means in this case is you realize now it has a physical form as it just kind of plows through your leg and keeps walking. It's almost like stone. I mean, coal might be a good way to put it.
Ow.
Yeah.
So it actually, she could actually feel it. She didn't
Yes.
kick right through it.
Yeah, and you see, Demaya goes, crouched down. Her leg goes out to sweep it, and her leg kind of almost bounces back like she hits
So
the
now
wall.
I have a lovely bruise.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have a little bruise there on your shin.
Does he look friendly? Does he look like he might want to have a picnic with us?
But what does it look like when someone wants to have a picnic with you? They probably have a basket and a blanket. He doesn't, so no.
I would like to pick him up and throw him over my shoulder.
So you're gonna try and grab him.
Yep.
All right, strength. That's definitely strength.
How large is he relative to,
You only need
to
2 of
Strongdawn?
those.
Overall, this thing is almost morphing in view. So it's so dark that it's hard to tell how tall or short it is. It might be 5 feet tall, it might be 5.5, or
So it's not like a golem or something.
I
It's
said
just
it's not
more of a
huge.
shadow.
11.
11, and the D8 is higher than the D6, so
It
that's
is.
good. So what you got there is it's like you've picked up an automaton who is still walking, although you're carrying it across your shoulder. And it is extremely heavy. If you were to keep doing this, it's probably like going to break your arm or your back or something very quickly.
I look at the monks. Where's the nearest broom closet?
Broom closet. Jack wants to know where it is too.
Why don't you just throw it down like
I know, like
a
like
big
body slam it.
body slam, Bob?
Okay, tombstone.
Try to drop it on its head.
We're pulling out the Undertaker.
You going to do something like that?
The
Tombstone.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give you another strength roll for that because this thing is so heavy. It's going to take you some extra effort to maneuver it the way you want
Come on, dice.
because it hasn't really stopped.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
Max.
Did you just ghetto crit?
He'd ghetto crit.
He
Ghetto
crit
critted.
critted.
Both.
So just as a reminder, one of the starting moves of the Barbarian allows JJ to do something special. Can you read that off again, please?
That is Herculean appetites. When I roll, I can choose to roll 1 die 6 plus 1 die 8. If the die 6 is higher at the pair, the GM will also introduce a complication. But this does allow me to succeed more often than not.
And if there are complications, it goes along with one of your heedless pursuits.
Exactly.
That you have to pick there. All right. So what we have then is you slamming this thing on the ground, and it falls into pieces that are kind of still twitching on the ground. I shouldn't say falls. It breaks into pieces. Although it seems like rock, there is no dust. It just kind of pulls apart.
And they're twitching.
It's still trying to move, apparently.
Put it in different bags.
Yeah, are the pieces trying to
bags.
get back together, or
It's not Terminatoring. No.
It's not Terminator.
Yeah. It just seems like it has a purpose, and it's still trying to fulfill whatever that purpose is. It didn't die because it broke into pieces.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, lovely.
I'm pulling out a bag, and I'm going to start scooping pieces of it into that bag.
Someone needs to go outside and tell the dwarves to calm their, slow their roll.
yeah, calm their tits.
I was going to say calm their tits. But
Hold on, did Mike have the first curse this time?
I believe I did, actually, in my
JJ
intro.
did?
In my
All
intro.
right. I missed it, sorry. But it still wasn't Mickie.
No, it wasn't me.
Slipping.
I'm totally slacking out,
I guess while he's doing that, I would
You
like
did say, can we whack it? So
I would like to maybe see if there's something in my brain that is like a story about these charcoal guys that maybe
okay.
In the interim, I'm going to run upstairs and tell the
So that's
dwarves
a
to calm
spout
down
lore.
and not go outside.
All right.
Because we don't need any more of those inside.
That's right.
and I got a 11.
11. Wow. See, I only saw the 2. I didn't know the other one was a 6. Good
Yeah.
gosh. Okay. So this is. We're going to go back to when you were trying to figure out some. I think some of the dwarves speaking in the ceremonial tongue. It was one of those old ancient classes that you had, or a class about ancient stuff. I guess Fritzy's not that old, and in that you remember that there were certain of the ancient gods who could summon kind of like anti-beings, and these beings were like the opposite of life. They consumed life to keep going, and that is the what this thing is, as far as you can tell. So, if Strongdawn keeps touching it, it's probably going to keep sapping his strength. You realize that's what was happening. It wasn't as heavy as he thought it was. It wasn't as hard as Demaya thought it was. But this thing like eats life as it touches it. So if he goes picking up pieces, as he's going to pick up pieces to put them in a bag, each piece is going to feel progressively heavier and heavier.
But I haven't heard anything like a legend where they were beaten by someone. Try.
So these things are controlled by the ancient gods, and maybe that's one way to get rid of them. Kill an ancient god that could do it.
Oh, great.
And just throwing ideas out there of what you might have remembered.
Problems. More money, more problems. All right. Got 99 problems.
All right. So because of his resounding success, Demaya gets upstairs just in time to stop a squad of dwarves from rushing out the front door.
Good. Come down. Come back.
What is this, Helm's Deep?
Pretty much.
Come back. All right. So
So you can stop them, yeah.
I tell them to stop. Don't go outside. Relax.
Although I'm wondering if they would attack them from the walls and not going outside, would killing off some of the things outside weaken the portal area? Although I don't know if they have bows and arrows here.
They didn't. They had a couple of crossbows and they were going to throw rocks. Actually, they are up on the roof throwing rocks down at the undead things, but they're going to run out of rocks eventually.
Can I grab one of the crossbows and see if I can take aim and take one out?
Sure.
Awesome.
Take one what? One of the chanting dwarves or the undead menace?
One of the undead menace.
Sure.
Outside, see what happens.
So with that, they won't be paying attention to you. They're just going to be beating on the wall. So we'll give you one free shot. You kill one.
Woohoo! And
so you put your arrow right through its head. It's a zombie, right? So right through its head. It falls over on the ground, and the ones that are next to it actually turn and look at it, and then turn back to the wall, and it looks like they're hitting the wall harder.
Oh, great. So aggression is not the way to go.
Don't do that again.
Or do it more and faster.
I'll stop that for now. Go report to the group.
So just so I'm clear, there was only one shadowy humanoid creature, and it is now broken up into pieces, but there's only one we've seen enter.
Correct.
Okay.
And being in that room, you would have seen another if there was another, but there isn't. There has not been. The portal, the gateway, it still is kind of partial wall. It's more translucent now because of all that effort. But you can still see the stars beyond, and you don't see any more coalescing souls. You still see what I'm terming as souls on the other side of the wall. But they don't seem to be doing anything except floating in the abyss.
I want to take the bag I've got now gathered up and throw it back at the portal.
Interesting. Why?
To see if it goes
Just
through.
see what happens?
Takes it back where it belongs.
Okay. It goes through. And kind of into blackness.
Nice. Got rid of it.
There
you go.
All right. Now what are we going to do?
Try? Yeah, that's the next question.
You're
and the dwarves,
as the druid, are Mr. Life. Do you get your powers from a life god? I forget if we established that.
I don't think we established
that. It was
that.
mainly from nature. You spent some time in nature, and there was a healing power of the forest kind of thing.
Exactly. I'm not
You got Gaia.
about druid.
I didn't know if there was like a
god.
Gaia that you could pray to that could maybe counteract these people.
Yeah, for the dwarves, when you did stop them, from going out, but they are still very eager to go out. I mean, it's their friends and relatives out there that are under the control of Hisara, that those dwarves out there are controlling the undead, as we've learned. So they want to get out there to save their friends, and
They're gone.
it's going to be tough to keep
go.
them inside.
Let them go. They're not your friends anymore.
They might come
All right,
back.
so what can we do?
Go.
I'm out of ideas here. My usual punch him at the face didn't work, so...
What about
That was a
stabbing the
clever
neck?
plan.
Did you try that one?
I mean, I could try to use magic on the portal again. Even though you told me not
that
to.
went so well last time.
Different day, different dice.
Yeah.
Alright.
So the last episode was don't do that again. This one is I changed my mind.
Uh-huh.
Outside, the undead masses have the dwarf zombies, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, the dwarf mind-controlled
How many-
dwarves.
how many of
it's
those-
a ratio of like 1 to 5. So with a couple of hundred undead out there, there's 20 or so. 20 or so dwarves behind them doing the chant.
There's only 20?
Or so.
We could totally take
It's-
out 20 dwarves.
But
at
you
once
know,
with a
I mean,
cor-
you know...
The other dwarves
Shadrock
would be really
knows-
pissed off, though.
Yeah. Shadrock knows from your approach to the monastery that there are literally hundreds more on the way. This is the first wave.
This is the first wave.
Yeah.
Well, I
What are
mean,
your thoughts?
my ideas as the wizard are use magic on it. And
What
since
magic
there's,
are you thinking of, though?
again, to dispel it, because I guess if I succeed, it gets better, at least.
Hopefully.
The perception-wise, I think we were kind of saying that.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to
well,
open a portal to
we
a
can-
good god.
all right, let's get the...
Yeah, can we open a
Like, is
portal
there-
to a good
Does anyone have the power to open a portal to a good god?
No. Oh, I do have ritual.
He could do a ritual of, well, read what ritual says, the top.
When you draw upon a place of power, create a magical effect, tell the GM what you're trying to achieve. Ritual effects are always possible, but GM will give you 1 to 4 of the following conditions.
So there's a bunch of different
There's a bunch
conditions.
of
It could
stuff.
cost a lot of money. You could have to sacrifice something or someone. But the ritual is a pretty powerful starting move because you can do it. Whatever it is you want to do, as long as you're willing to pay
So
the
create a
price.
feedback loop. They come out and they go back right back in.
You draw arrows on the floor and maybe they'll follow them to go right back.
I mean, I did put something on the walls to keep the undead out, so maybe I could do something in here to keep them from coming
And
through.
you know, on that note, that is probably what's holding them from damaging the walls outside now. Because remember, we had said that you could detect some tampering or some attempts against your runes, and they were holding for now. So outside, that's probably the only thing keeping them from doing more damage to the monastery.
Okay. How about we do like best of both worlds? Like I do runes on the ground that maybe will boost the power of the fusing of the portal.
I'm thinking of some video game power up on the ground. You
Yeah.
walk over it and you
Like
sparkle.
little arrows
Yeah,
that go
yeah.
faster or something.
Neat. Okay.
Druid, can you make rock stronger?
Can I make rocks stronger?
Interesting question.
This castle is made of rock, yes?
Waiting for him to say, "What's a rock?" Is it? Yes, it is mostly stone, some wood, and a very little bit of metal. But
So is
mostly
there some
stone
way
and
that
wood.
the druid could fortify the rock?
It's a good question.
I like the idea. I don't
Kurt's
know
reading
that
it
I
off.
have a power that, I don't have
Stop it looking at the rules.
elemental mastery or anything like that.
Yeah, he doesn't control elements at this point, but it's more of a general question. Do you know of any druidic thing from what Shadrock has learned so far of his powers that could help? There are things that have happened already in the past. Now, in the past, anyone who's listening is going back like 4 hours, but we're going back like 3 months or so. You did call animal companions one time.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got options out there. What you want to do is completely up to you. How the characters solve this will be completely up to the players. There are solutions to what's going on, and you guys will come up with one.
What if can you talk to the animals, the undead animals, and sort of override their programming outside?
If I could talk to the undead animal.
There is a... I don't think I have that power yet.
You don't have to talk to the animals power?
I think that is one of the starting moves, being able to speak with animals or something like that.
Spirit tongue.
Spirit
Yes.
tongue.
I can understand any animal native to my land or akin to one whose essence I have studied.
And we had talked about this early on. Maybe it was new
yeah,
character creation.
I was hanging out with my chipmunks.
You
and
had
chat.
determined that you could speak to them, but only when you were in animal form or something like that. I'm trying to remember what it was. But
that we could communicate fairly basic.
But it was on different levels. Like squirrels weren't as smart as bears. or
Exactly,
something like
exactly.
that,
I
right?
remember.
Maybe you could ask them to stand down and see what happens.
The undead animals?
Yeah.
Would you have to talk like a zombie animal?
And I can try that while you... So, I think we should do
Good.
ritual to create like a runway into the dark portal and let everyone inside the monastery and see if they'll walk into the portal.
Or
So you
not.
want to open
the doors.
I want to open the doors
they'll walk
with the runway.
through and right into the portal.
Be like, hey guys, come on in.
You'd be standing there with the two flashlights like you're landing a helicopter or something.
Just a thought.
That's not a bad one. Well, I don't think so.
It's
Because I
a
like
highly
what it could
elaborate plan.
happen. So, how do you want to try that? Do you want to try and communicate with them like you've been asked?
Well, what am I going to tell them? Like, go
Maybe
away. There's
try
nothing
to
see
stand
here.
down. I don't know.
Go away.
there's nothing to see.
You're
I
being
mean, I'm happy
controlled.
to. I'm not doing anything at the moment other than watching you. So,
All right.
what kind of animals are these out there?
a
all
whole
kinds.
variety. We had
Elephants.
kind of determined that last time when
They
you
were
guys were fighting. them.
definitely animals
Form
that
of
would normally be on an
pachyderm.
island.
But it's an island like Australia's an island.
Uh-huh. But it's like an island that the zoo got raided. or
Well, yeah, of
something.
course. If you're going to go find animals to reanimate,
It would
you
seem
go
like-
everywhere you feel like.
It would seem like I would need to try to talk to
Well,
one
they
of the
had 'em
smarter
imported.
animals, and if I could talk to the smarter animal, ask him or her to disseminate the information down.
Who says disseminate?
Kurt does.
The druid.
Shadrock does.
Mr. Double Harvard.
There's
Yeah, 2 Harvard degrees. He can't say Aglinor, but he can disseminate the hell out of some animals.
Why don't I change into the form of a bucket of water?
Great.
No, an eagle, and go try to find a bird of
Oh, I
prey.
just need a monkey to bring you along. Where's Gleek?
Talk to them, and then if I can communicate,
Okay.
that eagle or hawk could spread the word.
All right.
All right.
So that's what Shadrock is off doing now, or heading off to do. One thing I'll ask you is roll the shape-shifting roll. So that would be plus wisdom.
7 plus 3, 10.
Okay. So you have 3 holds if we need them. All right.
All right.
What's next?
Um,
I'm going to be yawning all night.
I guess I will ask for help to set up the ritual to boost the dispelling of the portal.
So that's what you want to do. The ritual effect that you want, or the effect from the ritual, is to dispel this gateway, this portal.
Yes.
Make it not do what it's doing.
Right.
Make it go away.
So now let me go ahead with the options that I need to give you once you determine what that is. So first off, it's kind of obvious you are in a place of power. So you're going to draw upon the power that's here already. So you're going to need help from some of the dwarves and the monks, like you already have.
I'm going to light some incense.
That's probably a good idea.
That was what I was missing last time. That's why I didn't succeed.
That's probably it. And you're not sure how long it's going to take at this point. So we'll see how that works out. However, one of the things you're going to need to do is because of what you know about this creature, the bits of which Strongdawn has thrown back through, knowing the whole life and death, eye for an eye type of thing that's going on, you're going to need some form of live sacrifice to make this work. If life is what makes them come through, then chances are life is going to be what helps shut it down.
Okay. Are there any animals in this monastery?
There's an eagle, a bird of prey that just flew out. I'm going to say, at least to start, no. They might have a couple of stray cats and stuff that come and go.
But they don't have like sheep that they
No.
or cows.
No, we had kind of said before all of their food is from vegetables, grains, stuff like that. They had not. We had not set them up with any kind of animals.
We can't sacrifice tofu.
Although the wagon that you guys had before was drawn by, I think we had said a couple horses. So I don't know if you want to kill a horse or not. I'll leave that up to you.
A horse, a dwarf.
A horse.
I guess we could try a horse.
A horse is a dwarf, unless, of course.
I feel better than sacrificing one of us.
So you will.
Wait. Where's generic at?
Oh, there's lots of them around, and by lots I mean like 20.
We just kill one of the
regular-
generics.
Now that's
You're
if
not
you're.
going to kill a dwarf.
That's if we're counting generics as just dwarfs, right? There are probably about 100 monks in the monastery.
Not taking out a monk. That's just bad juju.
Yeah,
Probably
that's
is,
just
yeah.
bad. It'll never work.
No,
if
the
we kill
bad
them all.
juju's on the wall.
Well, taking out a monk in a monastery probably isn't high on the list.
I'm sure if you asked him, he'd be like, sure.
He'd be like,
Does Shadrock
Because they
know
don't
about
talk.
this whole
Yeah,
killing
he
a
wouldn't
living
say
thing?
anything.
say that again.
Do I know about this whole sacrifice thing, or am I off flying away?
You're off
You
flying
had
away.
determined you were going to fly away.
GTFO, Kurt.
I wouldn't like this.
Yeah, you wouldn't have an answer for that yet.
So get the horse.
Yeah, I guess we'll try it.
Get the weaker looking one. The one that looks like it's on its last leg or something.
Yeah.
See, we should have
And then
killed the
cut it
horse
off.
first to see if Kurt could talk to it.
Talk
Should
to the
what?
dead horse.
He's going to try to talk to it.
That's
dead
right. He's
raptor.
going to try and talk to some other dead animal.
This is, yeah.
All right. So while you are going to fetch the horse,
Okay.
you see the eagle. Was it an eagle that you picked? All right, because I thought I remembered bird
Is
of
it
prey,
a
but I
gold
didn't
eagle
remember
or
eagle.
bald
Or
eagle?
golden eagle.
Oh, it's
Very
a big,
nice.
it's a big
They're
bird.
purdy.
They're huge.
So as you fly around, you find a couple of the animals, and when you try to communicate with them, they look at you as if you're some faint memory, and then they go back to what they're doing. So there is some bit of recognition there, but not enough to stop them from what their goal is. Maybe if you had more direct contact with them rather than the dwarf standing behind them chanting, that might help.
Okay.
Okay, so we got a horse.
And while you're out there, you see Fritzy go grab a horse and drag it inside. So the main doors,
Nothing to see here.
the main doors are still really the only place right now where there isn't undead and dwarves beating on the door. They are down the road, probably another mile or so. Shadrock can see that from flying around.
Okay, so do I know how would be the best way to make this ritual work?
Well, the symbols you've drawn on the ground, you probably have to find a way to get the horse on, power up the horse, right?
Okay.
When the horse goes bleep 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 bleep, then you're probably all set.
All right. So I don't want to
You
pass
might
the
need, you might
buck,
need horse handler.
but
help
I
here.
will hand the horse to Shadrock, not Shadrock,
Strongdawn?
Strongdawn,
the other Shadrock.
the other S, to be the horse handler / horse puncher.
Okay.
I'm gonna punch a horse to death.
And then I'll get in my casting position
Okay.
and get everyone ready to go.
Okay, from there, Shadrock, after you saw him bring the horse in and you realize that although your communication with the undead animals is not, it doesn't have any good effect, it still had an effect, right? It didn't stop them. Something happened. There was a glimmer of recognition.
I am going to trust that my compatriots are doing something helpful and proper, and I'm going to, as aggressively as humanly possible, dive bomb the weakest looking dwarf zombie I can find,
Okay,
aiming for his eyes.
so
Are you going to poop in them?
Open them.
Gonna scratch his eyes
I never
out.
thought of that.
solid
You should have been a pigeon for that. They got some name, I'll tell you.
So the goal here is to knock out or kill the dwarf as quickly as possible, and then try to talk to one of the animals that he was controlling. And if
So-
that doesn't work, to get out of there as fast as possible. Back to the monastery.
Roll a hack and slash. So what I'm going to let you do is get straight in there quick because you are the dive-bombing bird of prey, but I want to make sure that you're actually getting past defenses and what have you.
Yeah.
All right. So you dive
12.
bomb right in there. You got your 12. You definitely hit. He's not going to get an attack back on you. Roll your damage.
6.
Very
Good
nice.
gosh.
Nice.
Those are some of my favorite dice.
Nice.
The blue and the gray. I like the
Nice.
color. Anyway, so at that point, it's almost like a knockout punch. You cold cock the dwarf, hit him like right in the side of the face. He's out. He's out before he hits the ground. Flops down onto the ground and pick an undead animal that you want to have recognize you at this point. So I don't have to.
One of the hawks.
One of the hawks. Okay. So there was one on his shoulder when you hit him, and as the dwarf falls over, the hawk leaps off of it. It doesn't have enough flesh and feathers to fly, but it leaps off of it and kind of bounces on the ground with a couple little chitters at you. And kind of like, thank goodness, can I go in peace now?
So can I communicate with him?
Yes, that's what the hawk says to you. Can I leave this world in peace now?
But he can't fly.
Yeah, man, go.
No,
Go.
It's like the chicken with no feathers kind of thing, but a hawk.
Even if he can communicate, he's only going to be able to communicate with the group that has no dwarf controlling them, presumably. Although maybe not.
You tell me.
What
What do you want to tell him?
I mean, you could tell him that he can tell everyone that they're free to go.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, I mean, I need to tell him that they need to spread the word as quickly as possible to turn around
Okay.
and
But the only way to release the control is to kill or incapacitate the dwarfs. Can I die now again?
so they can't turn on the dwarves. I can't tell him to go tell them to kill the dwarves, or can I?
They cannot. Well, he'll tell you he cannot, or he would have. He
All right,
was
so
fighting
we need to take out the
against the control to try and peck the dwarf the whole time he was on his shoulder.
There's
Right.
too many dwarfs.
I mean, you
They're
can
just
at least
coming.
let this group go, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a drop in the bucket, though.
If nothing else, he's going to grab a couple of his animal friends, undead animal friends, and try to die again by attacking a couple of dwarves.
That's cool.
And the dwarves are still living creatures.
Yes. They seem to be under some form of mind control, whereas the animals have been reanimated.
Can we have these now pseudo-free, or these free animals kill one of these dwarves as our sacrifice for the ritual?
I don't
You
know.
don't know what's going
Somehow
on.
make that work.
I
You
don't
don't know.
know.
Metagaming.
We're
not
punching
with
a
this
horse in
group.
It
here.
depends on if you happen to fly back in the meantime and figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Getting ready to throat punch a
I
horse.
forgot I wasn't there. Well, I'm going to tell these animals for the moment to take out as many dwarfs as they can, and that might allow them to go in peace.
So the hawk will tell you their number one purpose is to go back to death. But, unless you're going to kill them, they've got to figure out a way to die, so they're going to attack the dwarves.
That'll at least distract them a little bit.
Yeah.
Are the animals...
They're undead.
They're not alive. They're undead.
They were already dead once. Right. They've been reanimated against their will.
Right.
And now they just want to go back.
They really want to walk into the portal.
It was much more restful, I should
I'm
say.
telling you, runway to the portal, man.
Runway.
Nah, but then their souls will be like stuck in this
Limbo.
terrible world forever.
It's a nice planetarium, though. As bad as death is, it's got a nice view.
Right?
All right, so
Always look at the upside.
I'm crazy that way. So what are you doing after you say that? Because we're about to switch the scene back to inside the monastery.
I'm gonna fly back to the monastery and see what's going on.
All right.
Well, I
So-
reconsider my next move.
While you head back there, inside the sub-basement, we have the big rune on the ground, and we have the horse standing over it, and Strongdawn is...
Rearing back to punch it in the throat with my dagger.
Is that a euphemism?
That's good. You're going to snickle fritz it?
Hopefully
I
not.
hope not.
I'm gonna bust that one at my wife later. Hey, Andy, I'm gonna snickle Fritzy. You're gonna do what?
What I think is awesome
Is that legal in South Carolina?
we talk about the disseminate and the Harvard degrees, and he said, I'm going to bust that one out on my wife. It's Slim Shady Shadrock. We got a damage roll here because the horse is not in combat with you. It doesn't care to avoid what you're doing. It's just going to realize what happens when you do it.
It's just gonna stare.
We're going to
at
go
you.
straight to damage. A horse is probably impressed the first time it's been brought into the monastery.
Oh,
Normally has to hang out outside.
Oh, Seabiscuit.
Seabiscuit.
Oh.
That's not good.
2. Well, plus,
Two.
is it plus strength or just nothing?
Does anyone feel like
your damage is just straight up your damage. All right, so
That's where
you
this
hit
is
it, and it starts
Trying to
freaking
avoid
out.
this. Oh, great.
Hit it
And
again.
it's starting to pull away from you.
Damn it, Jim. Dagger, slice.
You're going to need to hold on to it first.
Yep.
So that's going to be another
danger.
strength. Yep. Or it's just going to pull right away
still.
from you. Sit still.
Nice. That's a 6.
6.
Ooh.
So mark
Ding.
that as a failure. Mark the experience. And
Ding,
I will
further
allow
done.
Demaya and Fritzy to have some sort of reaction as the horse bolts to the wall.
towards the
Yes,
towards the bad wall.
gateway.
Oh god.
And I'm still holding on.
Yeah. Well, it broke your grasp because you didn't get a chance to hold on to it. So it breaks free of your grip. It has a little bit of blood trickling out of its neck, throat spot now, and it rears up and starts to bolt forward. And it's got about 10 feet to cover. If you guys have anything you want to try,
I
before
hope
it
you
does
have
that.
some kind of like sleeping poison that you can hit that thing with, because the only spell I have other than dispel magic is fireball.
That'll
There's your
work.
sacrifice.
There you go. Poof.
Everybody.
It's got reins, right?
Yeah.
All
And
right.
that's what it ripped from Strongdawn's hands when it reared
I'm
out.
gonna go for the reins and try to, do the whole little grab and jump on to stop it.
I like that idea.
Going in.
That's dexterity to me right there.
Going in.
Oh yeah.
Am I back yet?
This is where you're going to show
8.
up. So you fly yourself and you get down the stairs to the sub-basement as Demaya grabs the reins of this horse, the one you saw Fritzy bring in, and it's running towards the wall. She gets herself up onto the saddle, and it starts to turn, but doesn't turn quick enough, and they both disappear into the wall.
Told you I'm going in.
Oh, jeez.
Into the portal?
Into the gateway, the opening, the death abyss thing. She's in it again.
I'm in it again.
She's soaking in it.
I've been there
Is
before.
that powered up ritual?
I don't know. We can try the ritual.
Well, that's 2 sacrifices. What was
Damn.
that? All right. So how would
Hisara.
you finalize this ritual? Say that was intended. What would you do next?
I guess I would just dispel.
If that's what you want to do, mind you, you might want to stop it now. You pick.
No, we don't really like
I love it when a plan comes together.
Man, I feel like this is a great opportunity and a terrible thing at the same time.
Just do it.
All right, the end of the ritual, I think, would be a big dispel magic at the wall.
Okay, let's do that. Let's see what happens when you cast that spell.
So you're in there.
Yeah,
Bye.
That's 6 plus 3, so 9.
So,
So close.
Start rolling.
tell me
another one up.
what you're picking from the 7 to 9 list for cast a spell. And as a reminder for those listening, whenever a casting class, so both the wizard and the cleric, when they cast spells in Dungeon World, if they get the 7 to 9 result, they have to pick what I call a downside to the cast. The spell still happens, but then there's a negative that goes along with it.
I think I have to take the unwelcome attention, because if we have to do this spell over again, I can't forget it, and I can't take -1 forward if this actually causes like a flush of bad guys that we have to take out.
Okay.
So I'm going to take unwelcome attention.
Okay, so what happens as you cast the Dispel Magic spell, most of the wall now becomes wall again, and there's a spot about as large as the mist projector in Hisara's chamber that you guys were in, and Hisara's face comes up in the mist there now, and she looks very angry, and at that point, right around that spot, the wall comes out to grab Fritzy and pulls him in past her figure. So in there
Sup,
now is
Fritz?
Strongdawn, and the hawk just flew in to see that stuff happen. It was a matter of like 3 seconds from the time you went in. Clearly, things are a little different from when Shadrock left. So Fritzy just got sucked into the
We got
wall.
this. Come on. We got this. Diving in.
The incense smells nice, though.
I think we got to go in, right?
We gotta go in.
There's nothing else we can do here.
Yeah. We'll be the sacrifices.
Attack the face.
Take the face. So is that what you guys want to do?
I'm going to teabag the face before I leave, though.
You're going to lift up your
I'm
loincloth.
going to lift up my loincloth, drop it on her nose, and then walk in.
It's really cold.
How would you even do this? Like a hip thrust? I don't
Yeah,
get it.
It's like a jumping ball thrust.
I call it the wrecking ball.
I call it the wrecking ball.
We'll have to write that one down.
Yes, let's write that one down.
Did you come in?
Oh
like a
my
wrecking ball?
goodness. So we got that. You really know how to
there's
impress a forgotten deity. You really
Oh,
do.
yeah. I'm sure I'm her favorite.
So you guys go into this other space. Now, on the other side, now this is what Demaya has seen for almost 10 seconds, Fritzy for a few less, and you guys just enter this area. It's like you have just entered, trying to think of a good way to put it. You just like Star Wars and the Death Star when like Darth Vader first shows up and there's 500 stormtroopers there. You have just entered that, but there are these charcoal figures that look like they're just waiting to be deployed, and you guys kind of just drop down right in the middle of them. They just like inside the room, inside the sub basement. They pay no attention to you, but that's right where you drop. And you know these are life-sucking creatures. So
These are the world devourers.
These are the devourers.
I like that. They're the devourers.
I'm still on the horse, right?
Yes, you are
Can I ride-
actually on the horse.
Can I ride back and
You are
forth like
on your high
Braveheart?
horse.
They may take our lives!
I think I'd like to try to fireball these guys.
Yeah,
I haven't
not?
used fireball yet. Maybe
Okay.
it'll work.
Light them up.
and maybe it will. Let's find out.
So-
go ahead and cast
so
that
Fritzy
beautiful fireball spell.
Waves his hands around, and as he waves them, a ball of light gets bigger and bigger till it's about basketball shaped, and then he throws it forward like a Hadouken, and hopefully it blows someone up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll
Okay.
be 12.
All right, go ahead and roll the damage for that,
Okay.
just so
and
I know
that
how
is-
effective it should be.
Ooh, and
I
I
think
got
it's
the
2d6 and you
empowered magic too.
There you go. Let's read that one out. I think it was near the.
The empowered magic, if I cast the spell at 10 plus, I have the option of maximizing or doubling the spell. So
and if you do,
if I do that, the fireball is 2d6.
Mm-hmm.
If I do, it is like I'm rolling a 7 to 9.
okay.
So I'm going to
Draw unwelcome attention.
draw unwelcome attention and maximize that sucker.
I was kind of hoping you'd say that because that's what I plan on doing.
So I
what is
imagine
the
we already
maximum?
have someone wanted attention, but that's good.
Well, this time it makes a difference because where they might not have paid attention before, when this fireball goes off, it doesn't seem to affect them except that where it went off, the 50 or so in that radius, because they're all close together, they all turn and face you. I say face you as in they've got these blank mannequin, well, not even mannequin faces, like crash test dummy faces.
But they didn't
But
even.
they turn and they're all focused at you.
Great.
And
But
it's,
no
it's
noticeable
pretty
damage,
obvious.
no physical
nothing
damage.
noticeable, no.
Can I do it? Mother bitch! Sorry.
I don't get the
Hidara?
reference.
No. It's
sorry.
from Bad Boys.
Ah.
Hisara.
I don't get most references that have happened in the last 20 years.
Her name's like Hisara, right?
I'm
Hisara.
Mike Lowry.
Like a lot. All right, so can we've got to get this chick's attention. Hisara.
Well, you had it, and then he put his ball sack in her face and jumped past her. So
Can we call her out? Where is she?
try it.
Hisara, we have some splaining to do.
We have some explaining to do. I'm home.
I am home.
Almost the entire sky, like a mural in a chapel or something, kind of fills with the image of Hisara. So she forms in the sky above you.
So, how have you been?
There's a reason you're forgotten. Jesus, you're vain.
Yeah, she apparently likes herself.
So, what's going on? We noticed the portal thingy here. We talked last time.
Since last we talked.
Yeah. I thought we weren't going to do the portal. What happened?
Apparently, you are on my side. You have opened the gateway farther by feeding it life.
Shoot.
I'm
knew that was
very
a bad
impressed.
You see, so obviously we're a good group to keep around, right? So why don't we just forget about the monastery and do something else?
Well, I can't forget about the monastery. That's where my legion is headed.
Well, I mean, we could take the Legion somewhere else. We don't have to,
Take the garden with us.
mess with the monastery right now. I mean,
But
what-
you forget
what-
it is my destiny to consume that world.
but what good is a little monastery? I mean, there's nothing there, really. They have, like, beer and some grain, maybe 20 monks.
Beer, you say?
There's not much there for a goddess of your stature to consume.
Or you could come on down here and fight us like a real being.
Like a real being. Does anyone else have any ideas?
Oh, yeah, I already called her vain.
You did. That was pretty good. Although she is, so she's all right with that.
So,
Yeah, if you are quite through, we will continue our march into the other world.
okay, how about this? You take us on
And their feet start moving.
one-on-one.
Well, if they can get through, maybe we can just go with them back through the portal. And then hit the portal again.
And then hit it again.
Hit it again. Back up
You
and
wanna
hit it
try to
again
get
like a
out?
wrecking ball.
Yeah. I'd like to try to get out.
Okay, so they start marching, and it's like they're just marching into the horizon. And after a few steps, you realize that they're in long rows of these beings, these creatures. And after a few steps, you start realizing that the row farthest from you is vanishing after a couple steps, and then the next row vanishes,
They're
and the
going
next
in.
row vanishes.
They're going in.
Yep. And you're about halfway through the 50 rows or so. So they're vanishing and vanishing. And it seems like every few steps, maybe 50, 100, 150, 200, they're just more and more going through this vanishing act.
I would like to run up and jump on the back of one of them so that
Ooh.
it carries me through with it.
Okay. I'm going to say...
I would like to watch Fritzy.
You will need... I don't know how many times that has been uttered in his life. Yeah, you're going to need a strength roll to hold on, because as soon as you grab this thing, you will feel your life start to sap away from you. And
I'm going to
what you
make a
need is strength
lasso
to
and
hold
just,
on.
rope one.
Okay. So that would use up an adventuring gear.
I had
7?
to fail.
Do you
It's a 7.
You got a minus
minus
one
1
still? I thought you got rid of the -1.
No,
Oh, well, okay.
no.
So you go to grab bomb, and you quickly realize that you're not going to be able to maintain your grip. And because of it being an absolute failure, we're going to give you a d6 of damage as well. Because this thing is going to suck some of your life away. It does not count armor. So just straight up the full damage.
Want to get on the horse and ride through with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Strongdawn.
I got a
You got
lasso
your
and
lasso and you put it
throwing
on
it.
there. If you're doing it without touching the thing, I'm going to say you need some dexterity for that.
While they're doing this, I'm looking around for any type of
altar, like anything that would look like a source of power in this
6.
room, or a focal point?
It's kind of what we had said before. JJ's getting through experience tonight. But what we said before, it's kind of like you're on a huge marble or something. It's just a big horizon from edge to edge. The sky is full of stars, and right now it's full of the image of the vain Hisara. But there's nothing on the surface except for you guys and the marching legion. So, a failure as well.
A failure.
Okay.
Complete failure.
Let me try to think of a way to put this. So the rope will catch onto what? Let's see. The rope catches onto the horse and makes the horse fall down.
Nice.
Thanks.
Make the horse fall down.
Yes.
I want to run up and hog tie it.
Yes. So the rope catches
Get
one
for
of the
running.
horse's back legs or something, and your grip, and the horse just falls over, and you fall off the horse.
It's now hobbled.
Could be.
Thanks.
Got it.
What about if you?
This is what we should have done before it took off.
Tied it.
What about if we simply walk to the point on the horizon where they all seem to be disappearing?
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Because
I'll fly.
you were watching
I'll fly.
Fritzy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just gonna
So
fly.
you're going to stay. You've stayed a hawk the whole time.
Yes.
Okay.
So I
Just
still have
to be
my
clear.
3 holds.
Yep.
I'm just going to try to fly to where they are disappearing and see if I disappear.
So you hit a wall
I hit
at
a
that
wall.
point. And now I say you hit a wall. You hit some sort of barrier, and you do not get through. So
Is there any way that we can make Hisara
What kind
have
of
corporeal form?
Yeah. Can we taunt her? What kind of gotta send some faceless zombie things to do her bidding? Get down here and fight, coward.
well, they are just going to destroy life on the world. That's all. I wouldn't do that myself.
Still a loser. Get down here.
You're still a loser.
I have no idea.
We're going
I'm
to
out.
tell Aglinor on you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
there you
totally
go.
going to tell Alginor on you.
Yeah, bring his name up again.
He and I are tight.
It worked last time.
It did. So,
Yeah,
what
go ahead.
other ideas?
I thought Strongdawn would be like body slamming these guys.
Yeah. No, I didn't like touching him last
It
time.
sucked last time. Yeah.
Yeah, it sucked pretty good.
Literally, it sucked the life. Yeah.
It sucked pretty good.
What'd you say last time about? Sorry,
Huh?
go ahead. Go ahead.
So,
I was wanting to do something like, I'm trying to figure out how he would phrase it. But essentially, I wanted to basically say, if you crave nothingness, let us send you to it.
it's not the nothingness that Hisara craves. Hisara would tell you, what I crave is the life, and we are going to consume it. Me and my people will consume this life.
Then let me
Or
consume
yours. But I don't have one until I take one, you see.
Come out here, you
Wait,
little.
what would you
Come on,
say?
here,
What'd
just
you
say that to my face.
You know,
Hisara said that she does not have a life until she takes one.
all right, I
I give her mine. I'm sick of this.
revert to my human form.
Okay.
Come over to my good buddy Fritzy,
Yep.
who I like as much as any human, which isn't saying much.
As I'm not a human.
That too.
No,
And?
this isn't going to work.
Just say it.
well, that's a great
Go with
start.
it.
No, was it? Well, I was trying to think. I have shed, which allows me to shed damage that I take in animal form and revert. So I was thinking that you could kill me in animal form, and then I could shed the damage, and that it would count as a death that might do something. But it wouldn't, because you're really not taking the damage.
Come at me like you're gonna kill me, bro.
I was going to say I was going to have him kill me and then shed the damage, but I don't think that works.
We could find out. It wouldn't bug me to find out. There's actually a move called death. Yes. When you die in this world, you approach the black gates of death, and death himself will make a bargain with you for your life. and then you roll. If you fail, you're for reals dead. Otherwise, you can make a bargain with death and come back into this world.
I mean, it seems more likely that one of us could ask to give their life for Hisara, if that's what she wants. The more I like that plan better than the try to kill me and I'll try to shut it off.
Then I will.
You want to kill him?
No, I want to kill myself.
Okay.
Oh, strong.
Wait, what do we think we're getting out of this?
Giving her a life so she can come down and fight you.
No, you shouldn't do it because you're the one that hits the hardest.
Oh, not.
It depends on what you consider hitting the hardest. He didn't just kill a horse.
I'm not sure he's smart enough to make a good deal with that.
Well,
he eventually killed the horse
Well,
by pulling it.
It's still dying, I guess.
the metagaming here, actually, I have the best chance against death
Why is that?
because
As
of my
far as?
upper hand. One of my starting moves.
Read that out, JJ, because I don't remember.
You take
that
+1 ongoing to last breath
The
rolls.
last breath. Okay.
When you take your last breath on a 7 and 9, you make an offer to death that to return you to life. If death accepts, you return. So you don't make the offer; I make the offer.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, but
Wow.
if you're going to do that, you have to at least ask Hisara if this is going to be
Yeah.
worthwhile, because
Nah, just
if
do
you
it.
just kill yourself and then we're just like standing there watching the army go on.
Bye, bitches.
Bye-bye.
Hisara, will my life suffice?
I was planning on the ancient elf, but perhaps you would do.
I have killed many in my time.
Okay. Are you prepared to kill one more?
Yeah.
We'll see.
No.
Super cool. Wiggles my guts.
Jeez.
All right, so let's take this in that route, and
I think the listeners at home should know that there's like momentarily very quiet and solemn here in the room.
I know, like
Yeah.
that.
They're just
is-
trying to joke, but like
That just escalated quickly.
killing yourself is it.
no, I mean I like the idea because it's part of the rules. In this game, death is only permanent once you've failed your death roll, so to speak. Once you go and take your last breath, and that is, as I was saying, it's part of the special move sheet. It's the top left. When you're dying, you catch a glimpse of what lies beyond the black gates of Death's kingdom. So that's something that will happen.
Let's hope that we can get to Death Kingdom from here.
That's a good point. Are you in the right place for that? All right, so here's what we're going to do then. Strongdawn. We'll give you this opportunity for your tribal thing, where you came from.
Mm-hmm.
In your childhood, where you grew up, what is death described as?
So where he grew up, when you take a life, you have to take. You then become responsible for all those lives.
Okay.
So, in other words, like if I were to kill a man, I am now responsible to care for his wife and children and herd and everything. So when you take a life, you literally take everything from them as well, and you would now have responsibility. So this is a kind of a deterrent to murder in a way.
And when there are stories, lore, songs of death, is it like you go to Valhalla, or do you go?
Oh,
to a
no,
lake of
it's actually
fire? What is that
a,
like?
It's actually a great frozen bird.
Death is a turkey.
No, a frozen bird.
A turducken.
Turducken. Death is a frozen turducken. Okay, so here's what happens: you take your life, and you have this vision of the cold and the bird, the bird of death that you remember as a child and growing up, all the stories, the lore, and you realize at that point that you were successful. You made your way to death, and death greets you, and death is the memories of all of the ancients and elders of your tribes. It's like all those memories into one form, all people that you knew that had passed on. You recognize bits of everyone in this figure that approaches you. And because of the barbarian's move, we're going to be able to do something a little different than we normally would. And what you're going to be able to do there is you make the roll, and I'll just get back to the right page here. So you'll get a +1 ongoing to last breath roll. So that means when you go to make that roll, you're going to get a +1 to it. And everybody around him sees Strongdawn essentially kill himself, bleed out onto the ground. Hisara's form in the sky starts to drift down towards you and take on shape and form, and it's that, like we had described last time, that Anubis-looking being. And as Hisara reaches the ground, she turns into about an 8-foot-tall blonde human woman. And that's where we're going to stop for this time, and we'll see Strongdawn's roll for his last breath as we pick up our next session.
Oh, geez. This is going brilliantly.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
All
Bye-bye.
Hi, everyone.
Everybody, say bye again.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yes.
While the group is trying several approaches to disrupting Hisara's plan, Strongdawn decides to fulfill Hisara's bargain of a life for a life. We end this episode with Strongdawn valiantly offering his, in the hopes his action can save Parandisi. Thanks for joining us. The preceding podcast was brought to you by Shedcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.